Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinars, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key of enhancing our performances and for our growth as professionals. With this principle in mind, TechGig has initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give a crisp insight of various domains. Today's session is third in the webinar series, and topic for today's webinar is Demystifying DB2 data sharing capabilities on Mainframe. Our guest speaker today is Captain Uday Prasad, Delivery Manager at Tech Mahindra. Captain Uday is top IT management professional with worldwide industry experience in IBM mainframe programming, delivery management, IT consultancy, quality management, and career counseling. He is a Master Marine with a Six Sigma Belt certification with 29 years of work experience in leading multinational organizations like Shipping Corporation of India, IBM Global Services, and Tech Mahindra. Gentlemen, this presentation will continue for next 45 minutes and we'll take your questions after the presentation. In the meanwhile, you can post your queries through the chat pane available in the webinar software. Without further ado, I introduce you to our guest speaker, Captain Uday.
Hello. Yeah, Captain Prasad, you can see your screen. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please open the PPT and
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Uday Prasad. We are going to go through the facts and myths about DB2 on the IBM mainframe. I'm sure that you have been briefed that we will take the questions once our session is over. This should be around 45 to 55 minutes of session. I am sure that you should enjoy on what we are saying about DB2 and IBM mainframe. In the session today, we are going to cover facts versus myths about DB2. We are going to talk about introduction to single system Uni-Processor, a tightly coupled multiprocessor, followed by a loosely coupled multiprocessor. Then we are going to have a brief description about a base sysplex, followed by a parallel sysplex, and how parallel processing is implemented on the parallel sysplex. And then once we have the basic know-how of the architecture.
we can't see the PPT. Can you please open the PPT?
Yeah, the PPT is open from my side.
It's not visible.
Just a second.
We can see only the go to webinar page.
Wait a second. How about now?
Still not coming.
How about not coming? Still not coming?
Yeah, it's coming now. It's coming now perfectly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So, yeah. So let me start from where I left. We were talking about what this session has to offer today. We will be talking, as I said, about facts versus myths, followed by introduction to single system Uni-Processor, and then a tightly coupled multiprocessor, a loosely coupled multiprocessor, a brief description on what is about base sysplex, parallel sysplex, and then how parallel processing is implemented on parallel sysplex. Once we have the basic know-how of the architecture of the sys390 or Z operating system on the mainframe, we shall then proceed and see how DB2 data sharing groups are implemented and how DB2 uses coupling facility to share the data. So these are the topics that we're going to cover in the next 1 hour or so. I'm sure that you will be able to follow on what we're talking. All right. So we have the first screen, which talks about the facts versus myths. If you see on the screen, we have on the left-hand side an icon which talks about flexible and most popular decision support system. A typical configuration separates the operational data from the decision support data. We can use this configuration when the operational system has environment requirements that are different from those of the decision support system. The investment that you do in people and skill is protected because existing SQL interfaces and attachments remain intact when sharing the data. With the new flexible decision support system, one can bind a package or a plan on one member of a data sharing group and run that package or plan on any other member of the group. We shall see this in detail as we go ahead. Next that we talk about is basically on the workload manager. One sec, there is a small, yes, now it's, I hope it's visible to everyone. We are talking about workload balancing. If you see, basically, DB2 data sharing provides workload balancing so that when the workload increases or you add a new member to the group, you do not need to distribute your data or rewrite your applications. DB2 data sharing is unlike the partition data approach to parallelism, sometimes called also shared nothing therefore. DB2 works closely with the workload manager or WLM component of the Z operating system to ensure that the incoming requests are optimally balanced across the members of a data sharing all the groups. All these members of the data sharing groups have the same concurrent and direct read access to the data. So therefore, the workload balance is one of the latest features that we are going to talk about. Capacity, when you need it, is also a very important fact which needs to be understood. A data sharing configuration can handle peak workload such as end of quarter processing or end of year-end processing. I mean, you can have the data sharing members in reserve, bring them online to handle the peak loads, and then support them when the peak passes. It is important here that more capacity to process, compile, improve the data availability are basically going to be used. More users demand access to DB2 data on an hourly basis. Data sharing helps you meet your service objectives by improving the data availability during the planned as well as unplanned outages. Because of the data sharing facility, multiple paths to data, a member can be down and applications can still access the data through the other members of the data sharing group. We shall check upon this as we see how the parallel mechanism works. The support for the incremental growth is once again a highlight of the parallel sysplex that we are going to cover today. You would see that a parallel sysplex can grow incrementally. It can allow you to add processing power in granular units and in a non-disruptive manner. The coupling technique of parallel sysplex along with the additional CPU power results in more throughput for users' application. You no longer need to manage multiple copies of data, and all members of the data sharing group share a single DB2 catalog and its directory. So once we have understood a few facts about DB2 data sharing issues, we shall now proceed further to check out on what we are going to see on the sysplex systems. So we now on the next screen, which is essentially about the single unit system processor. It's a screen number 4, and